All right, welcome back to another episode of Scene Interpretation. I am Dr. Sophia Murphy, a licensed professional counselor here in Tempe, Greater Phoenix area, Arizona. And if you've been following or listening along, you know my spiel is that I'm the biggest cinephile that's ever lived, and now I get to spend my free time talking about movies with my favorite people. And this week is no exception. I had to wrangle this girl to get in here because she is a traveler in and out of the state, all over the country. So I am so thrilled to have Vero here today. And if you want to introduce yourself, we'll get into our movie.
Hello, I'm Veronica, but I go by Vero. Like Dr. Murphy said, I like to travel, I like to work and all that good stuff. So it was a little bit of a, herding cat situation trying to get me in, but I am so happy to be here and I'm really excited to talk about this movie.
Yes, I am thrilled. And I think we're going to have a first time situation here on the podcast because I'm going to admit that I swore I had seen this movie many, many times. I have so many memories of specific scenes and, of course, the soundtrack. And as I came to find out while watching it for this episode, I don't know that I've ever seen it all the way through.
Same here. The whole different clips and everything like that, the memes, the everything. Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
Come on.
Really nailed it with the Dave Chappelle connection. So today we're going to be talking about Purple Rain, a classic. I think we can agree on that.
Yes.
I'm also going to call this an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yes.
Because again, I thought I had a relationship with this movie. So we've sort of flipped the whole premise of the show on its head because this is the first time I get to talk about a movie with a friend that I'm just going to say it's my first viewing because I don't have a secure memory of seeing this movie from start to finish before I watched it for today.
Same.
All right. So we're diving in together on this whole experience. So I think this applies actually to both of us. So walk me through the moment the music stopped feeling like a soundtrack and started feeling like the actual emotional truth of the film. What came up for you?
For me, it was the end. It was the end when, he had the incident with his father. And I think that kind of clicked with him. And then him going out on stage and singing Purple Rain, written by, the two girls. And then him running off. And then him coming back and working out, I would die for you. And I was just like, that's how I feel in my emotional roller coaster of grief. One moment, I'll be bawling my eyes out, the world's gonna end. And then all of a sudden be like, okay, it's not that bad. It's like a huge emotional roller coaster.
Yes. And I think that really sums up this movie quite well. I think for me, it was actually quite early on that it shifted from a soundtrack to the emotional part of the movie when I realized that I think I only knew the soundtrack. So it was such a weird dichotomy of the experience. But yeah, I think that song, obviously Purple Rain, really hit. And it gave me a totally different perspective of the movie. Because I'm not going to lie, up until almost that point, I was struggling.
Yeah.
I was struggling. There's some really interesting things that have not aged well.
Yeah.
And at the exact same time, the music is timeless.
Yes. 100%. You can still vibe out to it. Makes you get into your feels. And just seeing him on stage in the movie, it was kind of just that's so him.
Absolutely.
So him.
And just his costuming, his makeup, his moves, his swagger, that's the part I remember so much about Prince, that I just had created this fictional relationship in my head with this movie.
Yeah. Because even his little movements, going back to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Him switching his head around, or the way his voice, or things like that. That was really there. That was Prince.
100%.
That is him.
100%. Was there any specific scene that maybe made you pause, either maybe because it was electric or even because it hit in a way you weren't expecting?
For me, there was two. When he got Apollonia and they went out to the lake.
Yeah.
And she literally just he's like, well, you have to bathe in the lake of Minnetonka. And she just automatically just went and did it. And I'm just like, girl, no questions asked.
I know. I thought that too. I was like, oh, we're really going there.
Yeah. You don't know what's in that water.
That too. And it's cold.
Yeah. So I was just like, how are you just jumping to do what this man says at the drop of a hat. So that was one of them. And the other one was when he came home and his dad was playing the piano.
Oh, that was sad.
And that I never really pieced that together, that his dad was also, even though they said it early on in the film about his father, it didn't click with me.
Yeah.
Until I saw that portion where he was, under the influence and he was like playing his things. And so I was just like, okay, that makes sense. And then I guess that there's a third one was when he knocked over and found all of the compositions.
Yeah.
After his dad was literally belittled him and was just like, I'm a man. I don't need to
I don't write my songs down.
Yeah. But yet here's a whole thing full of your things.
Full of his sheet music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think those are all really poignant moments. I think what stood out to me, which made me struggle with the movie for 2/3 of it, was the misogyny and the violence. I mean, I will say it was, I guess, a funny moment, but pretty early on.
I know what you're talking about.
When Morris is walking down the street and that girl comes out at him and his henchman, Jerome, just picks her up and throws her in a trash can.
Yeah.
I literally, my mouth was on the floor and I'm like, what is happening? And what kind of a ride are we in for that we're just literally throwing women away like trash?
Yeah.
In the first 35 minutes of this movie,
Something
maybe
like that,
is very early on. And then I don't think I ever expected Prince to strike Apollonia. And so that scene tonally too, I mean, I think that that's partly where I started to see the deeper part of the story. And obviously he's seen this in his own parents' relationship and his complicated dynamic with his father abusing his mom. I mean, I gasped, audibly shook when he hit her. I was just not expecting that because, again, that juxtaposition with the music and the lighting and the costumes and the brightness and it's kind of like the roller coaster you're talking about at the end.
Yeah.
Low lows, high highs.
Exactly. And I was just saying when he struck her, I was just because you never picture Prince doing something like that.
Exactly.
Putting his hands on somebody. But like you said, because he's seen that was his first reaction. Because for me, I thought he felt like a sense of betrayal because she was going to go to his, his enemy, his, his, what do they call him?
His nemesis.
Nemesis, yes. Morris Day, foreground with him, when I told you I'm the one that can help you.
Right. And I think you're right. I do think that's what we were supposed to take from that scene because he even uses his dad's line, which makes it so upsetting about aren't you happy with what we have? Or something isn't the two of us enough?
Yeah.
And that's clearly in the fight scenes between his dad and his mom, the dynamic is she's saying, you never let me have any fun. And he's like, we're fun, or I could make you happy. And so I think I just was not expecting that emotional gut punch. I just didn't know that it was going to get that dark.
Yeah.
It just really hit me differently. No pun intended. But yeah, so we know Purple Rain is a song that's so enormously culturally relevant, and hearing it in its original context as this desperate cathartic moment in the film, I'm wondering how you think you would have felt if you heard it for the first time in the movie versus having a relationship with the song and then seeing the movie.
I probably would have listened to the song differently.
Yeah.
I would not have, attached it to that.
Yeah.
And so now having that attached, I was like, man, that's one of the greatest hits of all time. And it was led by his dad doing what he did.
Right.
So and what I mean by that is I think at that moment when all of that happened, it kind of clicked for Prince, because for me, in the movie, he felt like he only had to protect himself. He kind of have to stay to himself, by how he was dismissing the girls, dismissing others.
So guarded.
Yes. And so but now, with the whole thing with his dad, he saw that he had to let other people in and actually listen to other people. Not everybody's out to hurt you.
Right. He didn't have to be so protective all the time.
Yes. But his environment made him that way.
Absolutely.
But I like how it kind of switched for him and like made him be a little bit more open. Cause like even when he said this was a song written by Lisa and Wendy, by the girls of the band, giving them, their flowers and like embracing them instead of just that you're in my band.
Right.
Like we were in this together.
Yes.
And so like I really like that was just kind of like, okay, like you got it. Like I know it's a movie, but in my brain I was just like,
yeah, that's his character growth, right? Like whether that's really true for Prince or the stylized version of his memoir that kind of the movie really is, right? Like it's hard to know exactly what was accurate and where he maybe was working some stuff out.
Yeah.
And I think what stood out to me was I had always just really thought of the song as like a love song. And I never, ever would have thought of it as like this cathartic grief process for his dad. And again, their complicated dynamic and maybe how it affected him and how he was closed off from other people. Like it was just so much sadder, I guess, in the context of the movie, where for decades hearing it on its own, I just was like, this is a sexy love song. And, I just want to see you in the purple rain. Like it totally shifted, I think, my relationship to it. And I kind of wish now I had seen it closer to when it was newer and not built again this entire relationship with the soundtrack and realized that I did not have any context for the movie around it.
So yeah, I get you 100%. And so I was just like, okay, looking at it through a different lens.
100%.
Which is really nice because that's what life is about, looking at things that have been around and then like seeing the change of it.
Yes. And I think that the underlying story, if I can forgive the misogyny and the violence and just some of the wildness of the 80s that did not age well, but that underlying story of like seeing that, I guess we would say like the failed career of his dad and how it affected him and how it clearly affected his relationship with his mom. And then it affected his ability to be close to his dad and kind of to feel very protective of his mom and then shut himself off. Like that's timeless.
Yeah.
Like that would hit whether it was made now or 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Like that struggle of trying to find his place and trying to let the walls down and to not repeat the patterns of the past. The way it landed by the end, I couldn't believe I was crying because for 80% of the movie, I was just like, I don't know if I like any of these people.
Yeah. But like Morris Day, you especially. Because,
oh my gosh. His character was just the most. Doing the most. Like, all of it.
All of it. And then like what got me was because I've seen this is in memes, is him like prancing down the stairs.
Yeah.
I was just like, that made me giggle because like the memes and everything like that. And so, but like that was his persona. Like that's Morris Day. But like, the whole womanizing, like even when they were in the club.
Yes.
Like he always had women around him. He always like had to like put on a show and all of this, or when he was with his band, the two girls. Like, make it sexy. Like, what do you think I'm paying you for? Like,
100%. Like he's basically pimping them, but just for music, I guess, and not directly for sex. Like, it was just so towing that line, though.
Like,
yes.
Just like that. I was like, So that's not the Morris Day that, I grew up with in the music. Right. But then again, this is a movie versus
reality.
Yeah.
When it seemed as though he was so over the top to create the contrast to Prince choosing to play the kid as so introverted and somber and internally pained. So Morris had to be this like over the top villain who was truly like puppeteering and manipulating or trying to create the kid's downfall.
Yeah.
And I can give it respect for that. And again, some of that stuff just did not age well. It did not land well. It was just almost distracting for parts of the movie coming into it so late.
Yeah. That's why I had to watch it more than one time.
I do actually want to rewatch it again. And like you said, like catch some more things. I think I was just still so in shock that I had not seen it and I was so sure that I had.
Yeah.
Like, that's a first for me. I don't know that I've ever actually truly thought I had seen a movie and then realized I hadn't. Like it really surprised me.
I'm glad.
You picked a great one because here we are. So yeah, like way back in the 80s, Prince has essentially said this is kind of like a fictionalized version of his life, but really like just letting the world show or see him as he is, like everything about him in one single film. And so I'm wondering, like, when you watched it, we kind of talked about this with Purple Rain, but did it change how you felt about any of the music, not just that one song, or even him as an artist and kind of like your perception of, I don't know, anything about him?
Not really, because like it was Prince.
Yeah,
Like how he was performing, that's how he performed.
that's true.
And so for me, it was just like he was just like trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
Granted, like when he did the beautiful ones, and he was like singing it like directly at Apollonia, sitting there with Morrissey, like he was making it known, like, hey, like you're supposed to be mine, like you're my woman, like how dare you, like, he was like pointing, and you could just feel
Yeah.
his vision like on her.
Yeah. Like targeted.
Yes. And so like I was just like, that kind of made me look at him differently, because I didn't think that he would be kind of possessive.
Yeah. I was trying to do a little bit of research, and there is the history that he just had like very complicated.
Relationship with her.
Yeah. And just like kind of was kind of, I don't know a good way to put it. Like, I don't know anything about any domestic violence. I hope that part's not true, because
Yeah.
that's the part that really rocked me. But it does sound like he was kind of consistently involved in high conflict, high drama, complicated romantic relationships. So it does seem like maybe some of that possessiveness was coming from a real thread in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it did make me wonder. I think that part was hard, was I was just trying to figure out, like, is he allowing himself to be portrayed as a really kind of like insecure asshole for the film? Or is he allowing himself to be portrayed because that's something he's really struggled with? And I don't think I ever looked at him that way. He was like an untouchable, once in a lifetime, desired by everybody. It's hard to imagine him being that insecure, possessive kind of guy. That's just never an energy I would ascribe to Prince.
Yeah. So like I kind of need to recount my statement. So yes, it did change it, but like in a sense, it was Prince.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does. And you nailed it. I mean, I do think the performances, every time he was on stage, you're locked back into the Prince that we know and love. And I did love and appreciate every one of those numbers. And it reminded me of, I think, the best days when you could just turn on MTV and watch music videos.
Yeah.
And just fall in love with the 3-minute story at a time. And that's the part of this that really stuck with me. I think the interconnectivity of the story was less than great.
Yes.
That the performances, it was just like one music video after another for 2 hours.
And I hope we don't get some hate from saying, some others like, hey, it's, so yeah.
And that's fine. I welcome the discourse. And I do think this is probably one of those where, like, if you had seen it at the perfect age, you would have hit differently. Yeah. It's hard for me to see a man throw a woman in a garbage can in 2026. I don't know that would happen as just a normal interaction between a man and a woman that he didn't want to deal with.
But not funny, but the crazy thing is how she popped out. Ugh. And still wanted him.
Oh, yeah. She was not deterred.
No. You just threw me in a trash can, and I'm going to pop out and just be like, I still want you, or whatever she said.
Yeah. Like, can I have another chance, basically?
Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah. So Prince, the kid, refuses to initially play the girls' songs because accepting their ideas is like losing control. And so what did you think about him struggling with that vulnerability and actually getting in the way of something genuine just to kind of protect himself for so much of the movie?
I could see, like, very early on, like, he was very guarded.
Yeah.
Because, like, them sitting in the room and them going back and forth, that was just like, okay, like, this is not a group thing. This is a you thing. You were the kid.
That's a good way to put it.
And then I think it was, like, a little further on when they were going back and forth, and he had the little puppet in his hand.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah, and he was like, you don't need them. You need yourself. And I'm just like, how are you in a band?
Yes.
With band mates?
Yes.
And you're not listening to them. Like, they just come, you do, you do what I say, and that's not how it works. You need to have like, those conversations. You need to work together. And like, how did those practices go?
That's what I was thinking too, is that the few that we saw, it seemed like he just showed up whenever he wanted to, and they would either wait for him or finally leave when they were tired of his shit and just be like, I got other things to do.
Yeah.
Like, he really was kind of an arrogant asshole in the way that he treated them and like at his beck and call.
Yeah. And they stayed.
That's true.
And they stayed, but I think they stayed because they could see the potential in him.
I do think that was part of it. Yeah.
And they wanted to be able to grow with him because they know that the songs, even though Billy was just like, no one likes your songs and like people weren't feeling it. But they could see that, people do feel it because I mean, in the movie, they're trying to portray that it's not, but we know.
I know. I thought that was a little bit of a disconnect for me too. It's like the audience isn't hanging on every word and just obsessed with these performances until the end.
Yeah.
Like, come on. We're all having a meta moment of like, this is my favorite Prince song. Or,
exactly.
I love hearing him do this live.
All of that on there. So it was just kind of just like, okay, like you guys want to grow. You guys are willing to wait for him.
Yeah.
But he finally did come around. And I think that was the moment that they were waiting for.
Yes, but that's true.
If it didn't happen like anytime soon, I think they probably would have left because they probably would have got tired of him.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out some sort of a timeline, and I don't know that it's ever clearly explained. How long do we think he's been in this band with this group, treating them this way before we're introduced to them in the story?
Yeah.
And how old is he supposed to be?
I have no clue. Maybe I should have looked up on Wikipedia.
And I was so curious because clearly the stuff at home sounds like it's been bad since at least he was born. It sounds like dad's career didn't work. He's drinking. It's escalated many times with mom. He comes home, he breaks it up. He sometimes gets hurt in the mix. It did seem like, though, everything was coming to a head at the same time. And so it made me wonder, like, is this 4 or 5 years in with this group and he still hasn't like made it big for performing in the club? It seemed like a good amount of time had happened where everybody was on their last leg with him.
Yeah. But when they would show up like and perform, it's like,
oh, for sure. The chemistry.
Yeah. But
everything.
Because they could have been together for, you know, that long where they know like, okay, if he comes on stage and he gives us a look, that's the song that we're doing.
That's what I was wondering too. And there was a moment at the end when he's playing Purple Rain and the one female guitarist starts crying because I think you're right. Like, it's what she's been hoping for. And he's not only giving them their flowers, he's like letting them in and letting them, I think, love him. Because to your point, when they first bring it up, like they say to him, like, we're not going to hurt you. Like, you should know us better than that. Like, we're not trying to like push you out. This isn't a power control thing. Like, we don't have bad intentions. We just want to be more involved. Like, have this be more our thing. And so that part struck me too, is like, I don't know how much longer they could have waited. It seemed like it had been building and building for a while.
Yeah.
And the puppet to me was just like the ultimate fuck you. Like, I couldn't believe he starts talking to the puppet.
Yeah.
While they're getting upset and almost tearful and like walking out of the room.
Yeah. And then like you wondering, are they actually going to show up?
Oh, for sure. I thought they were going to go with Morris too.
That's what I thought.
I was totally expecting them to go the Apollonia route and just that put him over the edge.
Because like, I think, was it Morris or was it Billy that said, no, it was Morris to Billy saying, well, Lisa and Wendy, they're not having a good time.
Yeah.
So to what you were saying, like that could have been the segue with, you know, the Apollonia 6. Like when he's at Apollonia 6, like, did the girls go on that
Exactly.
side?
That's what I was wondering.
So, yeah.
Fascinating to see all those dynamics play out. But so with her, there's a few things with her that stuck out. But one thing that I think is an interesting trope in a lot of movies that I don't love is the fact that she clearly chooses someone who's pretty damaged and struggling and then keeps choosing him even after he hits her, even after he really honestly like negs her. That whole scene with her like getting in the lake is such a bizarre way to flirt with her.
Yeah.
Right? To like neg her, put her down, really embarrass her. And then even like with the motorcycle, like not let her get on.
Yeah.
And her whole thing of like, how many women have you done this to? And then she still pursues him.
Yeah.
So I just was curious what you thought about, again, I know that's like in the 80s, just that whole idea of like moving towards someone that you think needs saving, even when it's to your own detriment.
Mhm.
And especially, I think the male female part of it feels problematic,
Mhm.
and just kind of how that landed for you.
Well, like you said, there's like multiple instances where he would do something to her, like coming up and like she had like the bracelet, like, give me that.
Yeah, you're right. Even way back then,
Yeah.
before the motorcycle ride.
Give me that. And she just hands it over.
Mm-hmm.
And a portion of me was just like, is she just doing this because, again, does she see the potential? Is she an opportunist? Like what? Like, why are you allowing this to happen
Great question.
to you?
Yeah.
And so, but then like when she started like doing like the switch from, you know, the kid to Morris Day, I was like, oh, so 100% you're an opportunist. Like you're
Right.
just trying to get what you want in your career.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the men, they just like, oh yeah, I'll help you.
For a price.
Yeah. Like I'll help you. But for her just to be like, okay, like we're doing, like, no. Like, girl, stand on your own 2 feet. Granted, again, that was the 80s.
Right.
And so that's what a lot of folks did.
Yeah.
But like now it's like, no, no, no. Like we're not gonna do that. And I mean, she did get her, like, again, not in like domestic fights, like when they were under the bridge.
Oh yeah.
And like they start going back and forth at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, I'm happy you're standing up, but
even then though, I mean, he shoves her to the ground. He makes like he's gonna hit her. She tells him to hit her, just go for it.
But why? Like, why have yourself in that situation?
And I think that's where I struggled again, was like seeing Prince in that role. And then it's hard. Those are the moments where it's hard for me to take my therapist hat off, because those are the kinds of tropes in movies and TV shows that have been around forever. And I do think still underlying even something like Euphoria, which is only, you know, a handful of years old. This idea that like it's love because it's dangerous and erratic and emotional, and this person's damaged and broken. And if I can be a constant in their life and wait long enough, they're going to finally turn into this person I want them to be. Yeah. And I think that part rubbed me the wrong way, because that's a message from the 80s that we are still seeing everywhere today. And it's so hard to see him be in that role. And then you're moved by the end and you like want them to get together. And at the same time, it's like, what's changed?
Nothing.
He did one performance and I guess came to terms with his dad. I don't know.
But like, it just goes back to this, like, that's not needed in a relationship.
Right.
It's really not.
Yep.
Like, you can be with somebody, and if they're going through a hard time, you can be there.
Right.
Either for them.
Right.
However, like you can't clean up the messes that were made beforehand.
Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Especially if they don't want them to be cleaned up, or they want to fix
ready.
it. Yeah. It could just be something that they need to work out on their own.
Right.
But if they start, taking it out, on you, and things like that, that's when, for me, like, step away.
Yes.
Let them fix themselves, let them get themselves together. And, there's that saying, like, was it right person, wrong time.
Right.
And so, let them do like their healing and, circle around if you feel like you need to circle around or whatever, but you can't keep yourself in that place. You have to, maybe just be like, okay, I gotta let you go so you can do that.
Figure this all out. Yeah, I think it's the romanticizing of that kind of brokenness and violence and rescuing that is just still so hard for me, even in a movie that's back then or a movie or a TV show now. And just like, but you love Prince and you're rooting for him. And so I think it kind of messes with you emotionally, because you want to see that better version of him. Man, he really let himself be depicted.
Oh yeah.
In a less than favorable light by a mile.
I was just like, oh, well, even like when he did Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell, like, he was upset when she was with Morris.
Oh, for sure.
Because he pulled that lace thing off his face, and then, like, he was just going, and he was on the floor, and then he was oohing and ahhing and everything to make her know that, hey.
He's calling her a whore from the stage.
Yeah. Like,
100% humiliating her again.
I'm going to embarrass you in front of all these people.
Yeah.
Because they're going to know that this is directed to you.
100%. So yeah, it was a real interesting like push and pull for me, and seeing those themes be so prevalent that again, I think we still struggle with romanticizing today.
And then it also made me question, were they boyfriend and girlfriend before, or were they just like, she just shows up to the club?
I thought that too. Was he supposed to have recognized her when she walked in, or he's just like enthralled by her?
Yeah. I could not. Again, I should have looked up on Wikipedia.
Some of that, though, I think, unfortunately, is a byproduct of people who were musicians being actors when they were not also actors.
Yeah.
So I think some of those like acting choices of what I think is supposed to be, he's like enthralled by her or fascinated by her, is communicated very strangely, where he like puts on his glasses to then step behind her and like look at her with it's just like
it's odd
and without any words spoken, right? And so it was just like their cat and mouse game. I don't know if it was written poorly, aged poorly, acted poorly, all of the above.
Yeah. Or because during that time, I think they were outside of the movie in a relationship.
I looked that up because I thought that too. And what I read was that they became very good friends. And because of his reputation and like kind of, again, very high conflict, dramatic relationships, Apollonia was very clear that like she only wanted to be friends with him.
Gotcha.
And she was dating, I'm going to get this wrong now, a very famous rock star at the same time from another band.
Okay.
And my brain's going to forget who it was.
Okay.
I want to say like David Lee Roth, but I don't know if that's right.
Okay.
But so, yeah, she was already in a relationship, and specifically they became like lifelong friends.
Gotcha.
Because I looked that up too.
Yeah, because like, the chemistry that they had kind of gave like that feel like maybe off screen.
Right.
Something could be happening.
Right.
So like that, I had that question. I was like, but then I didn't go down a rabbit hole. So
I definitely was Googling so many things through the movie because I was all over the place. So like, what is happening? The tonal shifts were so drastic.
Oh yeah.
And again, I think I just was not used to seeing him in that kind of role that I had to like go into my intellectual brain and look up more facts.
Yeah.
Than just see him be like a pretty despicable dude at a lot of points in this movie.
Yeah.
100%. So kind of in that same vein, you know, Prince is playing a character who is so simultaneously magnetic, but also completely isolated. And I'm curious, like, what you thought about that dichotomy for him, or if you've ever known someone who really kind of wears those two masks.
Probably like I've seen people because like you have to mask sometimes. Because sometimes like life, like they say, life be life. And so like when you go to the office and things like that, and like maybe something's not going right in your life. So you kind of have to be like, oh, at work, like everything's fine and cheery and I'm here.
Yeah.
But behind closed doors, you're just kind of like, I am drowning. I am like suffering, but you don't want to go to anybody.
Yeah.
To express that, especially like with minority groups.
Yeah.
Like going to therapy is like especially back in the day.
Oh, for sure.
Especially back in the day, like why are you going? Or if you do tell somebody, hey, I'm in therapy, even now today. Well, why? Didn't they provide you a good life? Didn't they do this? Didn't they do that? And so like that kind of makes people have to do the whole masking thing.
Yeah.
And trying to shield themselves and like just from the persona to do that. Is it healthy? No. Does it weigh you down and exhaust you? Yes.
Yeah.
And so like with Prince, like for me, like looking at Prince is like him being the kid was like his way of not having to mask because he could act like kind of like the way that he could.
And kind of get it out that way.
Yeah.
Through a character.
Exactly. Because at home, like, you know, his dad struck him.
Right.
Like he had to see that. And so like that's his internal battle at home that he really didn't want people to see.
Yeah.
Even taking Apollonia to his house because she's like, well, you can't come to my house, which I'm still trying to figure out where does she live at? Like, does she even live?
She lives in the hotel.
Okay.
Because we don't even know where she came from.
Exactly. So sorry, that was like
shows up.
My squirrel moment.
No,
like,
you're totally right.
So I was just like, because she's like, well, you can't go to my house, and then they go to to his house, and like she's looking through the window, like, oh, that's your parents, and then them going through the basement window to get to his stuff, and so it's kind of just like that he opened up to her about,
right,
which was different from the whole band, but that's like him like letting her in to kind of help him not have to mask to some degree.
True. I think he let her in more than anybody else,
Yeah.
at least from what we see of this snippet of his life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so like seeing people like having to mask and things like that. So it's more common than anything.
Yeah. Well, I think you hit some really important points that when people think they have to be a certain type of way because it's not safe to just be honest or vulnerable, then they do have to exert all that extra energy and show up the way that other people expect them to, right? Like chipper, in a good mood, or fine, or whatever. And it only fills or feeds the loneliness more because no one ever really knows you or sees you. And I definitely think the racial aspect is part of it. The gender aspect is part of it. The other part that stood out for me too, though, is there seems to be this sort of underlying theme about people who are really genius and creative, that the more talented they are, the more troubled and lonely and isolated they seem to be, even though on the outside, the version we get is often, magnetic and draws you in and is just so light and funny. Like I think about like some of our greats like Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Or Chris Farley and people that you find out were struggling
behind the scenes.
Exactly. They're the ones who bring the joy to everybody else and they're the ones that draw everybody in. And so I think seeing him as a creative genius too, tied into being a Black man in the 80s. And again, I don't know how much he struggled with these specific issues in his personal life. That dichotomy seems to always layer right on top of that.
Yeah.
It's like a tortured artist, right?
Exactly.
Like that saying.
But to go on with that, they were masking.
Right.
They were 100% masking. And like seeing like Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, I never want to see Peter Pan like that again.
Oh, 100%. I hope that's not part of his real personality. It was horrifying.
Horrifying. But the same thing like with Prince, because like if you look at Prince and look how he was like when he was out. Look at the skits, that, Charlie Murphy said about Prince.
Yeah.
So like the ones that he was close to, he like really let himself be seen. But to the outside world, he was Prince.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a persona.
Yeah. He was the it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just like how they have to like switch on and off.
Well, I think part of what I was wondering too, and there isn't a perfect answer for this, we'll never know. When someone is so talented and so special, are they emotionally unavailable because of that creativity and that mask, or do they wear the mask to show this type of artistic persona because they were already so emotionally unavailable? Like it's hard to ever parse out like what came first or what feeds itself. And it just seems to be this like anecdotal pattern we see all the time that the greater the artistry, the more impactful they are on the culture, the more we find out later they were struggling and isolated, even when they have friends, right? Like, I mean, I don't know for sure about what Robin Williams' family and friends knew about how much he was struggling. It makes me wonder if even the people close to him knew the burden of what was really going on under the surface.
Or how well he hit it.
Exactly. Like maybe he hid it from everybody. And that I'd have to research too. I think the part that just stood out to me was not only Prince as a person, just the broader group of these performers and people that give us so much and change our lives. And then you find out like they just were, again, not well.
Yeah. Struggling just like
drowning,
the everyday
was
person.
Your word, which I think is perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So kind of going back to the lake and her jumping in and it being so cold, I kept having this thought through the movie. Okay, so it's in Minneapolis, which is where he is from in real life.
Yep.
And it was cold, claustrophobic, but also so electric, right? Like with the nightclub and the scene and the fashion. And the city was like simultaneously too small for the kid, but also kind of overbearing and overwhelming, and he wanted to be bigger than all of it. So I was just curious what you thought about like how the environment played a part in the story and in his sort of like needing to be more and kind of keep, I don't know, elevating himself.
Well, like looking back at like the different shots that they did, like Prince's house, when we first see it, it's dark. I thought it was farmland.
I thought so too. I didn't know they were outside the city or near the city.
Yeah. And then like when he rolled up, when his mom was outside, they had neighbors.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. And then it shifted from like a suburban area to the city that looked like you said, electrifying and had like all this hustle and bustle. And could a person get lost in that? 100%.
Yes.
But Prince also, or the kid also saw himself wanting to be more.
Yes, 100%.
Than that. And so like he was really trying to make sure that he got out of that.
Yes.
But looking on the outside, that's where he liked to be.
Oh, for sure. And I think even the opening scene when Morris is showing up in his car and he has like tons of groupies, I thought it was New York.
Yeah.
Like it really had a New York vibe. And you think about like that would be the highest level you'd want to ascend to. And then we find out that this club is really just a conduit to starting people's careers and everyone's trying to get out.
Yeah.
And even that surprised me.
And so like just seeing all of that, I was just like, okay, I can see why like he was like wanting to get out. But also I was just like, you're not really trying to help yourself get out by the way that you are acting, sir.
Well, the guy who runs the nightclub says that a few times. Yeah, Billy, like, you think he'd want this opportunity. You think he'd be on time. You think he would take this seriously. Like, he just keeps dropping the ball. And so that was interesting, too, is like, if you're getting this opportunity to get everything you want, he keeps getting in his own way.
Yeah.
And then we find out the home life and the deeper stuff and this sort of situation he's struggling with while also trying to create this persona. I think it gave us kind of those missing puzzle pieces as the movie went on.
And I kind of also think that Billy also saw the potential in him.
Yeah.
Because he was a major enabler.
Oh, for sure.
He just kept on giving him, like you said, chance after chance after chance after chance. It wasn't until Morris Day was just like, hey, like, I got this girl group. You know, the kid ain't pulling them in like they're supposed to. Like, we can swap this out.
I know, that was crazy. His, like, scheming.
Oh, yeah. But I will give it to Morris, and I don't know if you're going to touch on this, was during the last performance after they taunted him, how Morris kind of, like, looked like he felt like some type of way, like he felt like a little saddened.
Like when he came off the stage?
No, like before they went on, after Morris Day got off, like he, like, after all his cronies went in, and then like Morris Day kind of came back out and kind of like looked back towards them.
I might have missed that.
And so that's why I watched it twice.
Fair, more than fair. I could see my homework piling up, but
so, like, I'm going to write it out for you. But like I was saying, like Billy was an enabler.
Oh, for sure.
Just like his band.
Over and over in chances.
Like in the potential.
Yeah.
Seeing the potential.
Which I think is where like that magnetism was supposed to be kind of like a thread through the entire movie, right? Like, even though I think as a adult now it's hard to picture again, like Apollonia letting him treat her that way. I think we're supposed to see it as like everyone is drawn to him and wants to be in his orbit. The girls in the band, they're both simultaneously frustrated and feeling disrespected and drawn to show up again and give him another chance. So I think you're right, Billy. Everybody just kept enabling him because I think we're supposed to take that he had this something special. And everyone was, waiting for it to like culminate. Yeah. And then it does. And so then we're sort of like, does that make it okay? It's complicated. Yeah. It's super complicated. But yeah, so kind of on the dark side stuff too. The kid watches his father's genius go to waste. He's replaced, with the violence, this crumbling marriage, and the kid is swearing to himself he'll never become this person. And then he repeats it with Apollonia. And so just kind of, how did you feel and what did you think about how clearly that line was drawn as he's really descending into like the worst version of himself?
I was like you. I was shocked when he, hit her. Yeah. Because she sold her bracelet to get you that guitar.
I know. It was like the most beautiful scene of the movie, which I'm sure is on purpose. Yeah. Descending into the worst scene.
And just to see that, I'm just like, how like he just easily like switched.
Yes.
Like his whole demeanor like just switched from this super happy, like, oh my goodness, like thank you, and like to like, oh yeah, I'm gonna join Morris's, then bam. And then like you could see that he was just like, oh man.
Yeah.
But if you've ever have seen any type of domestic violence or have known somebody, that's the cycle that it is.
Yeah.
And like also like the cycle with his parents that he saw where it's like, I hit you because I love you.
Right. And you made me do it.
You made me do it.
So painful.
And that kind of like what he did, like when he was like talking to her, like, well, like, well, I said I could help you. And that doesn't mean you need to slap somebody.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
You let yourself get to that point.
Yes.
And you could have refrained from doing so, but you were so filled with anger because of your nemesis is trying to help her. Granted, you know what Morris Day was about.
Right.
He wanted more than just using you for his group. Eventually, down the line,
Oh,
which we
for
see in the
sure.
movie,
He was creepy.
Yeah.
On purpose.
But you didn't have to go down that route.
Right.
And you kind of knew it, but you were still having the same cycle
Yes.
that you're used to seeing, unfortunately.
Yes, 100%. And I think that this was one part of the movie where I had such a split experience because as a person, it shocked me. And like I said, I gasped and I really struggled with seeing him specifically in that role. As a therapist, though, this is where my like antennas perked up. I was like, oh, this is what we're supposed to be understanding is his persona and his arrogance and his, I'm just going to say like being an asshole is all formulated from this home life.
Yeah.
And the abuse that he suffered clearly, because we see at least one time he gets hit by his dad when he's trying to intervene. So that when he projects that and brings it into his relationship with Apollonia, the therapist part of me was just like, oh, now this makes sense. And so I think I still struggled because it's Prince. But now I'm interested and curious and have empathy of like, oh no, he's just repeating the cycle that he's seen. And I think he's distraught that he behaved that way and he doesn't know how else to behave. So it was interesting to have that mixed feeling of like, as a woman and as a person, I was mortified and wanted her to just leave and never come back.
Yeah.
And then the therapist part of me is like, oh no, he's so broken.
Like, he needs some help. He needs to come see me.
Well, that too. But like you said, no one was going to therapy in the 80s like that. Like,
No.
It just gave me a softening to my frustration with the movie so far. And at the same time, then I was just like so sad because I just didn't know where it was going to go.
Yeah. And a portion of me, because like seeing things in my life, I won't go into detail, but I was always told that I did not want to grow up like so and so.
Sure.
Or like I didn't want to raise my family as so and so.
Sure.
So like that kind of like popped in my head, like, okay, you see this, so why wouldn't you not want to do it?
Right.
And so like, you want to change that generational thing. But again, thinking this is back in the 80s. So this is a whole different time because we didn't start talking about breaking the whole generational, trauma until like way later on in life. Like kind of switch it up. Or if we did, it was like by a different term. Like, oh, I don't want to do like what my parents did or anything like that.
I don't even know that we would have called the domestic violence trauma back then. I don't know that we would have even equated it. We were thinking trauma was only like going to war.
Yeah.
It was just like sometimes you see people get roughed up in your house. Like it was so normalized.
Yeah.
So I think that is an important perspective to remember is I don't think that we were having conversations of like, I want to break the cycle of violence in my family and not hit my girlfriend the way my dad hit my mom.
Yeah.
So I try to give it some grace. And I think, again, that storyline is timeless, though.
Yeah.
Like if you could put that storyline in a movie today with a little bit more care, again, not throwing a woman in a trash can, that specific part of like what I saw in my household growing up is negatively affecting how I relate to people today. I don't know that part's ever going to change. That's just human nature. And so, I struggled with him in that role. And then I had empathy and curiosity for him as a therapist when that scene happened.
Yeah.
So it was just so layered. Okay. So talking about dad a little bit, we do find out that he ends up communicating everything he couldn't say out loud through his music, even though he never shared it with anyone. And so kind of in that same vein of what did you think about finding out kind of on a similar level of like how his dad seemed to be this like tortured creative genius who he was scary and under the surface was just in a lot of pain.
Yeah. When, again, going back to seeing him on the piano, even though he was drunk and he was still a douchebag to Prince.
For sure.
But learning that he had that I'm just like, you could have just amplified that.
I
But
know.
because going back to like what Billy and Moore said, like, oh, just like his father, and like Billy constantly saying to Prince, oh, you're
Yeah.
just like your father. You're just like your father.
Yeah.
Like that was also like beat into him. Like, you're not going to be
Yes.
anything but your father. But his dad, like having all of that, like, and like he probably was told the same thing, like, oh, because you
Mhm.
can't pull this together, you're nobody. You're not going to be anything. You're not
Yes.
going to be amount. And that's just
Yep.
me like speculating, but that could be like the reason why he took the route that he did.
Oh, for sure.
Or like he could have been like the kid, like not trusting his bandmates or being thinking like his bandmates were out to get him. So like his bandmates maybe got to the point where they were just like, I'm done with you.
I know. We never really found out what happened to his career.
No, just that, he was talented, that creative
Yes.
genius.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, this is how she
Yeah.
is.
And he just lives in this house and is miserable with a
Yeah.
wife who seems to want to get away and for whatever reason doesn't or can't.
Yeah.
And then he's just in that like
Cycle.
of
Loop.
just depression and grief and anger and resentment. And I mean, yeah, it got pretty dark towards the end.
Yeah. But like, I start like thinking and like analyzing. It's like, but that could have been like the prime time to build something
Oh, for
with the
sure.
kid.
For sure.
Like, have your dad help you on that. Like, have your dad like, hey, can you listen to this for me?
Mhm.
I want to have him have him do a song with you or something.
Yes.
But that's just not what happened.
Right.
Like, instead of coming together, like two, creative geniuses, like working, that's not what happened.
Right.
And so it's just kind of just like coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, it could have taken a whole different route.
Well, and I was kind of wondering, what do we think happens in the future in his relationship with his dad? Because the way it ends, it makes it seem like he's going to recover.
Yeah.
And kind of to your point. So I guess the kid has been, startled into a new version of himself and he's showing up differently. I mean, the dad attempts to take his own life and lives. So I wonder what we think that relationship is going to look like, let's say like a month from then.
Yeah. And I actually did have that thought. Like, what happened after?
Right.
Like, did they come together? Like you said,
Right.
did they start composing things that, like, how did a family life?
Yeah.
But then again, I did not go on Wikipedia and see how.
I don't think there's a Purple Rain 2, and probably for good reason.
Yeah.
But I mean, I felt a little hopeful at the end that if everything that had happened kind of like shook Prince or the kid enough to want to do it differently.
Yeah.
I think there's a part of me that would hope that the dad himself who tried to kill himself and lived would also look at his life differently as a consequence of that. And maybe it would improve or change his relationship with himself, with his wife, and with the kid.
Yeah.
And it could almost be a new chapter because he hit his lowest point, clearly, where he couldn't do it anymore. Like he was succumbing to the depression or the grief or whatever we're interpreting that as. And then he lived.
Yeah.
So like, new options.
Exactly. And I did go back and rewind that portion because I was just like, did he really try to take his own life? And so I had to go back and watch it because I was just like, did him and Prince get into it?
I thought that too.
And they wrestled for the gun.
I thought that
or,
too.
What happened? So I went back. Actually, I think I did it 3 times.
Oof, that's a lot to rewatch.
And I was just like, because I wasn't, again, first time seeing the movie. I'm sorry, this portion's not in memes or gifs.
True. I had no idea it was going to get the start.
And so, like, I had to go back and and like pick up like different things, like seeing like the police around him and like the look on his face, and then them having the chalk outline, which is very, very like descriptive.
Also, I don't think that would happen because he lives.
Yeah.
I don't think they do a chalk outline of a body when they're putting you on a stretcher and you're alive.
Yeah. With the whole like of,
the gun in his hand and everything. Yeah. That was wild.
Just like, oh, okay, this is.
So you had, it sounds like, a very similar thought. I was really conflicted of, are we supposed to think that the kid shot his dad and then is grappling with that, and that's what leads to the change, or that he witnessed his dad shoot himself, survive, and that's what leads to that change.
Yeah.
The only reason I was leaning more towards the kid sees his dad try to take his own life is because there's a very bizarre flash where the kid looks up and sees himself hanging.
Yes.
And
sorry,
so,
that was loud.
No, you're good. But so to me, I thought we're supposed to interpret that as, to your exact point, he's doing all the things his dad has done. He's become abusive. He's hit his own girlfriend. He's isolating. He's pushing his friends away. Yeah. And so seeing his dad attempt to take his own life, instantly his mind goes to, I'm going to end up trying to take my own life by hanging myself if I don't change something.
Exactly.
Okay. That's kind of where I land.
Yes. And to add to that was when Apollonia was drinking, he was like, don't do that.
That's true.
And so like he wasn't in that space of drinking.
Yeah.
Like his dad was. So like he was aware. He was aware of what was going on.
That's a good point.
And then like him trashing it.
Yeah. Like having his meltdown.
Yeah. Like he was going through it during that. Cause like that's super dramatic.
Oh, I can't even imagine. That's what I'm saying. This movie got so dark out of nowhere. Like, he saw he either shot his dad or he saw his dad shoot himself.
Yeah.
Either way.
Like he just went into a whole manic session. And that's how he was trying to figure out what was going on.
I mean, yeah, he completely emotionally collapsed.
Yeah.
He crashed out, broke everything. And it looked like he like passed out, slept, wake up, see the sheet music, and then it's like a light switch.
Yeah. Cause I think like it was I think he even passed out on top of them.
Yes.
Because like he was sweaty and then like he rose up and like they were all stuck to him.
Yeah. Cause he was just destroying everything that was down there.
Yeah.
Like, it was very violent.
Yeah.
Oof. It was just
for something so tiny.
And well, that too. It's just so many emotions.
So many.
Okay. Let's see. Where do I want to go as we're wrapping up? I guess kind of just, how did you feel by the end with all the things that had happened in the movie?
Well, that's the reason why I had to go back and watch it another time, because like there was like there was a lot happening.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't a lot. It does that, if that makes sense. Like
it was actually a pretty simplistic story.
But like there's so many layers to it. Cause even like there was this one point, and I wrote it down, where after the dad abused the mom, like he turns to them and like points, he goes, I would die for you.
You're right.
And I was just like, and I kind of felt like Peter Griffin, because when he was just like, oh, they said the title of the movie.
Yes,
and I was like,
I love that.
That's the song. And for him to sing that song at the end, like that I was just like, was that like where he got that song from? Like because of like what his dad said, like was that like a part of it?
When I was trying to tell, and I didn't like pause it or rewatch it, but when the kid finds the sheet music, did it have any titles?
I don't think it did. I just think it had Francis L on it. I don't think it had any titles. I might have to go back and like look at that.
Because I was wondering if so Purple Rain was from his bandmates, but I did wonder if the I Would Die for You, or even the lyrics that he puts with the Purple Rain came from the dad. Yeah. Because I couldn't tell fast enough, like, was there other things on the sheets that he ended up taking and using?
Yeah, I never, like, I didn't, like, pause and, like, really look at, but I don't remember seeing that.
That's what I thought, too.
And, like, the song that the girls gave him, like, the demo, it wasn't even titled Purple Rain.
Right.
It was Slow Grooves or something like
to that effect,
And I was just like, how did you get Purple Rain from Slow Grooves? Is it because, like purple was your theme?
That's what I was trying to figure out as well.
Was it just like,
if I missed something or what? Yeah.
Or was it because of like what purple symbolizes, like the coloring and like, you know, all of that. And so like the movie in a whole, like just really just made me like be like, man, Prince. And I know. And like in my notes that I took, because I did take notes, I had her erase like Prince and put the kid.
Yeah, me too. I had to start separating it.
I was just like, because he's portraying this kid.
Yes.
And so like I need to like kind of have that like
I agree.
separated.
I had to too.
And so like just like and I also broke everybody down in my notes. I did. Like I was analyzing
I love
everybody
it. I love
from
it.
the kid underlined, Billy underlined, all of them with like different notes and like how they I even did Jerome.
Oof. That was a wild dynamic between Jerome and
Yeah.
and Morris.
And so like this seemed like how all of it at the end kind of like circles around,
Mhm.
especially like with Morris, like I brought up earlier, for him to have that look after they were taunting him,
Mhm.
like that kind of made me have like this much a sliver of a soft spot for Morris Day in the in the movie, because like I genuinely think, 'cause I know that they have a relationship outside of
Yes,
that.
they were friends and rivals with
Yeah.
friends.
But I think like that kind of made him like, you know what, that's kind of messed up. Like how would I feel if I had that happen to one of my parents? So kind of gave him like a little.
I agree.
Okay, you get a 0.5 for that, Morris.
I love it.
But like it was a roller coaster.
It
honestly,
was.
like I said at the beginning, like the end with it, the song,
Mm-hmm.
and then knowing that, you know, he dedicated it to his father.
I know.
And then him running out to his motorcycle, going to leave, and then like him running back inside and be like, you know what, we're gonna kick this off and like do whatever he like, I would die for you. And then the other song, like it was just like that's how like my little ADHD grief brain like felt
More than fair.
like I was just
Up
like,
and down.
man, up and down. So bad. So like I could relate to it in that aspect of it. Do I like it as a movie? Yes. Do I like some of the storyline? No.
I think you said it perfectly. Like it landed the plane for me by the end.
Yes.
But man, I think just some of it did not age. Like it was just so off-putting in certain parts. And that again, the tonal shifts were like whiplash. And I mean, how could you not just melt when he plays Purple Rain at the end? Again, even in that context of what had just happened with his dad. So woof. Well, as we're winding down, 1 week from now, what image or moment from this film do you think will live rent free in your head?
Purple Rain.
Yeah, the song.
The song and like that moment.
I wish it was that for me, and I think it's a toss up between when he strikes Apollonia, because I just feel like that was seared into my brain, and then the Darling Nikki one, because I was just like, this is wild to see him act like this.
Because he just like kind of just
yes, like you said, he ripped the lace off his face, and it got dark again. Like he was vicious. That's a good way to put it.
Like he was just like, I'm putting you on blast. Like you embarrassed me by being here with her.
Sure.
Between the beautiful ones and then that, like he's like, you're not gonna embarrass me. I'm the kid.
I know. It's that possessiveness again that was so off-putting, and that sort of like having to get vengeance.
Like in my head, I was like, girl, if you don't run, like,
but again, the classic love story. She's got to save him from himself, and they're meant to be together.
Yeah.
Lots of ups and downs.
Lots of up and downs.
Awesome. Any last thoughts about viewing Purple Rain?
No, like, hey, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. You can watch it on YouTube because that's where I watched it. But then I realized I watched a TV version. So yeah, there's a whole TV version.
I had no idea. Look at me just learning new things today.
And so like when I saw, I was like, I hope I didn't miss anything, but apparently I did not. So yeah, go check it out and thanks for having me. I'm just happy we didn't talk about the other movie though.
I don't even remember what the other one was going to be.
Well, it was one of my favorites, Land Before Time.
Oh, that will make me cry.
Yeah. I was like, please.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid. I feel like that there was like life before Land Before Time and life after, just like with My Girl.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's like, I can't do that to myself again.
No.
There's no need.
Yeah.
It's happened. I remember it.
Ship has sailed.
I'm fine. Yeah. But no, I think it was great that we ended up picking this because then I was like 40 minutes into it going, texting you confession. I'm learning that I don't think I've ever seen this. So this was a good experience for me as well.
Yes. Like based off the memes, Charlie Murphy, Dave Chappelle.
So
like,
good.
It gives you like a different outlook on the movie. And then also like Prince himself. Does he need a little bit more acting classes. It was the 80s.
It was basically the talent of these huge musical artists trying to act.
Yes.
And you could just feel that disconnect. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who wrote it. I didn't dig that far. But again, writing, acting didn't age well. A little bit of all three sprinkled in at the same time is probably what we were bumping up against. So. Yeah. Awesome. So one thing I've been doing is asking everybody as we're winding down, what's a movie that you love that maybe I haven't seen for my own homework? You kind of already got me with this episode, but now that we've both seen it, I'm wondering, I'm building my library to flip the script for future episodes.
Oh my goodness. Like I know you've seen Jurassic Park.
Yeah. We already have an episode.
Yeah. I actually almost wore my Jurassic Park shirt today.
Oh, that would have been great.
Because that's one of my favorite movies.
Yes, 100%.
I'm pretty sure you've seen Sister Act 1 and 2.
Love them. Grew up with Whoopi Goldberg.
To Want Food, Thank You Very Much. Yes, that's one of my favorite. Me and my mom.
Yes.
So I don't know, because you're you love your movies.
I do.
And so I may know a D movie that I can probably get you, and you'll probably be like, girl, why did you send this to me? I'll have to find it. And I came across this movie randomly with two of my friends.
Okay.
And I don't want to spoil it for you.
No, don't, because it's going to be homework. So you can text me too.
I will text you the movie.
But the goal is to try to find a movie you love that I haven't seen.
And I love it because of, I don't even want to say that because I don't want to give you a context to go in on this movie about.
I'm going to love when I find out what title.
Yes, you're going to love it. And you're going to probably text me and girl, are you serious? Because how I found it, it was just literally scrolling through their cable channels.
Okay.
And they recorded it, came back later. We did a onesie night.
I love this.
And we watched it, and we were just
well, send it to me if I have by chance seen it once I get details.
I don't
with it again.
I don't know if you saw this one, I would probably be yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen every movie. And then if you want me to come back and discuss that one with you, I will definitely do that.
Because I definitely want to do kind of the back end of the year, having all of you back, and I'm going to watch the movie that you assigned me for homework. And then you're going to have all the questions.
Oh.
So I'm very excited for that. But my big thing though is, as we're getting into August tomorrow, which is crazy at the day of this recording now when it's going to drop. I love spooky season. Mm-hmm. So my brain is already going into, before we do the flip the script episodes, I need some people to watch a classic horror movie or one of my favorite horror movies for the first time as we get into September and October. Oh, so I cannot wait to find some brave souls, and we're going to get into some nasty stuff for spooky season. I can't wait.
Just remember where I live at. And yeah.
Well, we do sleepover. Like you said, we can do a onesie night and I can make you watch something terrifying. But no, we'll see. We'll come back to it. But all right. Well, thank you for hanging out for another episode. I hope that you enjoyed our very interesting take and perspective on a classic. Again, feedback is always welcome. We don't have to fight about it. We won't take it personally. It would be great to hear how people have a relationship with Purple Rain. That's maybe different from our new relationship with Purple Rain. But you can find me on Instagram at dr.sophiamurphy. You can find the pod at Scene Interpretation Pod on Instagram. Episodes drop on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and YouTube. Like, subscribe, put me on auto download. This is a passion project of mine, and I just hope that it's bringing you as much joy as it's bringing me. So until next time, bye.
Bye.